Tom, you mentioned the union before, so why don't we leave that and you could start talking about the union. I know that the Coal Miners Union all across the country has been one of the really powerful, active unions. Could you tell us what role it played here and sort of how connected were you with the national organization? How did the union function?
Well, I guess Mike's better qualified for that, but I willingly joined the union. That was probably a stipulation when I got hired, and we were just a brotherhood of, well, I don't know how many hundred guys. You know, we stuck together if something was to happen, and we didn't go to work. And it wasn't frivolous. Most of them were safety issues. Mm-hmm. You know, before we were going to mine coal, we would make it safe, and then we would mine coal. Mm-hmm. And if someone said, you know, you have to go in there, and we thought it was unsafe, we said, no, you know, we're not going to do that. And we knew the union would protect us and back us up.
And did that count as a strike if you just said, what you're asking me to
no,
do today
really,
doesn't look...
No, I don't believe that was a strike. We weren't refusing to work.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted to make it safe so we could go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Then most of the mine bosses were ex-coal miners. You know, they were coal miners too, so they understood. Mm-hmm. Because if we weren't going to go in there, you know, he wasn't going to go in there. That was part of his job. Okay, but as far as the big national union, I wouldn't, you know, too familiar with that. I was more, and it was a good job for me. Probably the best job I ever had was to go to work. I got paid well. I had medical for my wife and my kids, and I really thought I would retire with more time than I did, but it just didn't work out. I really had no plans on trying to find another job. I was a coal miner, and I really thought I was going to do 40 years as opposed to maybe 20.
Did you get retirement benefits?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
The union started way back in these pictures we see in this room. That's where pretty much everything came from, the Ludlow Massacre. Mm-hmm. When they struck there in 1913, 1914. The United Mine Workers came into Ludlow, Colorado, because the company, when the miners went on strike, the company threw them out of the company homes. So they put them out in a field, they didn't know where to go. It was like, I don't know, over 1,000 families that were out in the prairie. So the United Mine Workers of America came into town, and they brought 1,600 tents for the striking miners and their families and their kids. And there's where they set up in Ludlow, Colorado. And that's where the union started coming into play. And then back in, I believe, in 1938, when I think they started getting their first bargaining rights to elect if they wanted to belong to a union or not. And most companies and most miners in this county chose to become members of the United Mine Workers of America. And that's how far back the union started. I did work I've been a union rep since 1975. I started out in the mines as a safety rep for the United Mine Workers, the miners, our mines. And then I went on to become president of my local. And I've been there all these years except for 4 years that I went to work for the International Union. As a board member for the International Union, I worked for the United Mine Workers for 4 years. And that consisted of working and representing miners in 6 states. I worked from North Dakota down into Gallup and Window Rock, Arizona. That was my area to represent coal miners. Underground and surface miners. It wasn't just the underground, it was just surface. And you come here to represent them. You represent and negotiate a contract, and you're negotiating a wildcat strike. And that's what Jerry was saying earlier. When you go and you pull yourself away from an unsafe place, that's called a wildcat strike. And they weren't illegal. You withdraw yourself. You come in and you fix the area up before you go back in their mine. But most times the company would say you're going to work in that area anyway if it's bad, and we said we're not going to work this. We'll retrieve and we'll leave the mine site. First we'll leave the section, and if they don't want to correct it, then we will leave the mine. And when that happens in one crew, most of the miners will follow out and build, and it's called a wildcat strike. They take us to court. Try to get an injunction against it. And but it's for the safety of the miners, and I'm not gonna give up anybody smashing a finger or dying under that bad roof. That's not gonna happen when I'm representative of the mine workers. So it's called a wildcat. The company calls it a wildcat strike. We would retreat from the mine and not work it until we come in and made it safe. Then we would go back to work. But that's where the union comes into play, and the union is one of the greatest organizations we've had. As far as I'm concerned, worked for United Mine Worker for many years. And I will belong to, in 2 years, I'll have 50 years with the United Mine Workers. So I've been a long time with the mine workers. Not always as an officer, but between my work time and